Hello and welcome back to the weekly roundup, where we cover everything from movies, TV shows, video games, and everything in between. Now, to start us off with, you have TV, because we didn't find anything of note.
There's nothing really to note from movies this week, apart from maybe Mortal Kombat releasing, but
little tidbits here and there, but nothing substantial.
That's impossible to watch in the UK, apparently, so nothing to say in movies apart from Warner Bros. Screwing up everything once again.
Yes, nothing new there.
They can't do anything right! Okay. TV. Yes. Castlevania trailer released.
Oh, yeah.
And everyone needs to watch that because that trailer was fucking amazing.
That was a good trailer.
Oh my god. I felt happiness for the first time in a long time watching that trailer. I was just watching it and like, oh my god, like this animation is insane.
Oh, it's crisp.
It just looks like this last season is just going to be carnage.
A little bit, yeah.
Oh.
Is it confirmed to be? It's confirmed to be the last season.
Yep, last season of Castlevania, but
there's talks of a spin-off as well.
They've already said they're going to be spin-offs in the same universe. But
this will be the last of these characters.
It's quite sad, actually.
It's bittersweet, you know. It's because it's such a good TV show. Yeah. It's sad when anything like that comes to an end.
I'm curious where this last season is going because it sounds like from the trailer. I swear, in the trailer, you see a young Dracula. It looks like him. You see, like a guy that has the same face of Dracula.
Looks similar, yeah.
Like he just has younger, like shorter hair and stuff.
Well, there is the whole aspect of
reviving him.
Yes, because obviously, spoiler alert, he died
in season 2.
Season 2, yes.
I can't wait. I honestly cannot wait.
I mean, I think we know where it's going. I think he will come back.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
He's a fucking badass, that's why.
He is, he's good.
That last season 2 fight, like the last 2 episodes were just incredible.
Oh, they're just fighting in the house?
Yeah. Or like in the big castle.
And they go from like room to room.
Yeah, then that's the last episode, and so good, so good. But what's the mage chick called in it again? Belmont's girlfriend.
I know, I can't remember.
That was her standout moment.
Episode.
Like in the second last one, when they're fighting all the vampires in the hallway.
Yeah.
She's just going like with the ice and just cutting all the vampires out.
She's like Spider-Man.
I thought she was just got whoosh, and like ice is just cutting them in half, and like she was powerful as fuck in that episode.
I know, that's so well done.
Yeah, such a good series. But yeah, May 13th, I believe that comes out.
Yes, so not long now.
Oh, I'm gonna binge the shit out of that.
May, it seems like it's quite a stacked month so far.
Yep.
We've got Resident Evil coming out on the 7th of May, of course. Both looking forward to that.
The Love, Death and Robots as well.
Yes, season 2.
Like 2 days after, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
Castlevania comes out.
Yep.
Yeah, and the next on the TV list is just a little tease of House of Dragon has officially started production with Matt Smith playing Daemon Targaryen. Not sure who that is, to be honest, but obviously some sort of incest going on there, probably.
Of course, it's the Targaryens.
Yeah, but I think that's the official name of the show. Is House of Dragon. It's not. I don't think they're calling it Game of Thrones House of Dragon. It's like just straight up House of Dragon.
They're not having like the the Game of Thrones in like that small title above it sort of thing.
But it is a prequel to Game of Thrones, but I'm looking forward to that. Can't wait. I think is it not about the Targaryens when they first land in Westeros?
It's about like their rise to power, is it not?
I think so.
And then before like their self-destruction sort of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's pretty much setting up that whole...
I think it'd be cool if they maybe jump between different storylines. So like maybe the last season of it, it'll just be the Mad King.
Like it jumps forward in time sort of thing towards
that'd be
Mad
cool.
King.
That'd be cool if they do that, but I don't know if they will.
It'd be good to see because you've seen a lot of art and you've read a lot of things about the sizes of the dragon, like during the Targaryens,
huge.
And how much bigger they were compared to Daenerys.
In season 1, Game of Thrones, Arya hides inside like a skull of a dragon.
Yeah.
It's much bigger than what they were in the last season.
It depends if they do that or not, because
Drogon
budget. But it's a high budget show, the same as Game of Thrones. I assume they'll be pouring a lot of money into that.
Yeah, definitely, they definitely will.
Yeah,
but looking forward to that. I think that's meant to come out 2022. So
yeah, so
something I'll be looking forward to anyway.
Yes.
Go back into Westeros. I love that place.
I know,
it's so happy. Lots of happiness in that land.
It's just a lovely place to live.
Lovely people everywhere. It's basically like Disneyland.
That's great.
Right, video games.
Go! Here we go. You know what? I'm going to start us off with a relatively big one, yes. I mean, we kind of all knew one day it would come, but Last of Us 3, potentially, at one point down the line.
Yeah, that was always going to happen.
Yeah, I know. It's a quote this is from IGN. It's a quote from Neil Druckmann. It's, I don't know how much I want to reveal, co-writer Haley Gross, in brackets, and I did write an outline for a story that we're not making, but I hope one day I hope one day can see the light of day that explores a little bit what happens after this game. We'll see.
I want to see it. I want to see Ellie's story end. Her story did not end in part 2.
It didn't end in a definitive way.
No, it ended with basically everyone in her life has left her and died.
Yes.
And she's lost her fingers, now she can't play guitar.
So in a sense, it's almost like Joel.
Game is so apart.
Because Joel lost everything as well.
I'm gonna start crying in a minute. Just think about that game. I just want to get really sad. So fucking good. Oh, I love that game.
Oh, I know.
Don't care if people like to hate on part 2. Do whatever you want, but we loved it. I think it was our game of the year.
Definitely.
If I'm going to give me your list, like I think that was first. But
yeah, no. Well, he also was quoted as saying there's been quite a bit of discussion internally about a part 3, but pointed out how much work is involved in making a game like this a reality. Quotations. These games take so much to make. Brackets part 2. I've been thinking about it for 7 years between when the last game came out and when this came out. So yeah,
it could potentially be another 7 years before we see part 3.
I know. I always forget about the how long it is between part 1 and part 2.
Yeah, it's long.
It's a long time.
They made obviously Uncharted, Thief's End, and the spin-off game between that.
Yeah.
So,
but yeah, hopefully, sometime in the future, we'll get it.
Hopefully, I need more of that world. I bet they will. If The Last of Us TV show by HBO does really well, I hope it does. I think they'll.
I think it definitely will.
Sony will probably like make this now where it's still like hot. You know what I mean?
I wouldn't be surprised if they're like if they have some sort of like not necessarily pre-production, but like some sort of like assets or like obviously how he said he's got the basic story outline, like stuff like that, as well as like art and like sort of like different characters laid out and who they want to like introduce. I assume they'll have some ideas off that already. I
don't know if
like
they'll have art or that. I think when they say story outline, it kind of I think that means like maybe the main plot line.
Aye,
like the main plot.
So you're thinking they'll have like the bare minimum.
Yeah,
of,
the bare minimum of like
part 3 sort of thing. Just purely the story outline.
This is probably how it started. This is how the middle will be, and this is how it end. But anything in between, all the characters and how they meet and all that, I don't think any of that's been done. When he says outline, it screams to me like a basic draft where it could change. It could take another year or so to maybe work on it.
I suppose,
to perfect it, because Buckman, he was the lead writer and he was the director of part 2.
Yeah,
I think he directed part 1 as well. I think that was his first.
Yeah, I believe he did direct part 1. Yeah,
and he's been writing for Naughty Dog for as long as I can remember.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, next up in video game news is Warzone. Let's talk about. Actually, you know what? Not Warzone. Let's talk about Call of Duty in general, right? And the mess that seems to be just going on in general over at Activision in terms of the Call of Duty franchise. The Crash 4 studio, Toys for Bob, is officially supporting Warzone development amid layoff claims. Now, this comes from Video Games Chronicle. There's been a few things afterwards saying Activision have said that those employees weren't laid off, and then there's still some people saying that they were, so it's like you don't really know what to believe necessarily. But at the same time, they did announce that they are supporting Warzone, Toys for Bob, that studio that made the Crash 4, and obviously the Spyro remake as well.
So goodbye to those games.
Yeah, those franchises are in limbo now.
They're back into limbo for now 2 decades or something.
Yep. So there's been a lot of other rumors as well about World War II Vanguard, which is supposedly the next Call of Duty title.
For this year.
For this year, yes. There's been a lot of stuff about how that is going through a lot of problems in the same way that Cold War did, but probably actually more, arguably.
It sounds like it's way worse.
From
the rumors.
You've seen the rumors, yes.
You've seen leaks, and these are quite strong rumors. These are not just like made up. It doesn't seem like this made up rubbish.
No, I know.
It sounds like they're using the Modern Warfare engine, but they were trying to take all the assets over from World War II.
Yes, but it completely couldn't do with the engine or something.
Yeah, it was like it completely backfired.
Yeah, so then there's been rumors apparently that they're gonna sort of like not shelf it, but like delay it, like for like the next year or something. But then have the Modern Warfare 2 multiplayer remaster take its place in the slot, sort of thing, and then obviously have a lot of their focus on Warzone, because now apparently they have near enough every studio under Activision working on Warzone.
That's a joke.
I'll give you a rundown of what's on there. And
it's just a joke.
Of course, we've got Infinity Ward, Treyarch, Raven Software, of course, Sledgehammer Games, Beanox, High Moon Studios, Toys for Bob, Activision Shanghai, and Demonware are all working on Call of Duty.
Like what are they doing in Call of Duty? Like just supporting it? Or?
A lot of them will be support studios.
So
Definitely.
like obviously Infinity Ward, they'll be making Modern Warfare 2, whatever it's called.
Yeah, the likes of
That
Raven Software.
might be one that
and
I play because I really like the one they made. It seems to be like they're the only studio that's good now.
It was like a soft reboot of the franchise.
Yeah, it was a new engine and everything, and it just worked.
Yeah, it was impressive. It
Yeah.
was good.
Yeah, it was. It was really good. And
yeah, that's a lot of
I think
studios.
that's probably the next one I'll play. Was their one.
Yeah, no, I'll play as well. If it's anything like that Modern Warfare, soft reboot was, then yeah, because that's a solid game.
Warzone to me right now is just a clusterfuck.
It's kind of been like that from the start.
Rubbish. It's just nonsense. Every time I go back into that game, there's a new meta. 2 weapons. You just get those 2 weapons. Everyone at the end has the exact same 2 weapons. This is why Apex is a better bloody battle royale, because that is well balanced.
No, it is. But yes, Call of Duty has far too many problems to even list right now.
Yeah, and that's why the rumor was that COD 2021 was getting cancelled. It's apparently that bad. They don't know what to do. And then there's other ones come out saying Activision are aware that when it launches, it's not going to do well. And they've got a recovery roadmap already. It's like, look at them thinking ahead.
But that's that strategy that seems to be happening a lot these days.
That's probably why. And then there's always the other thing of Modern Warfare 2 remastered multiplayer. They're saying that's been ready for like years, but they're just waiting for a fuck up. And then this is the perfect opportunity to do that. Get it with this game or whatever, because that's when you know a game's bad if it does that. Infinity Ward. What was their game? Infinite Warfare. They did not have the Modern Warfare 2 campaign remastered with the game or something, or was it like a special edition?
I can't remember. I remember
a lot of people weren't going to buy that game. I think that was one of their lowest sold games. It still sold well, but it's one of their lowest ones.
But I remember that coming out, the Modern Warfare 2 campaign remaster with Warzone, because they done us like an in-game.
I know
pack
it came out with that as well, but I think when it originally came out it was Infinite Warfare. I swear it was that, or maybe it was the first. Or I don't know. It was something like that. It's a clusterfuck. Every studio apparently works on COD now. Activision are just useless. They'll probably make Blizzard work on Call of Duty next.
It's a shame. That's a sin. It's a shame because there's so many like talented studios.
Their CEO is a douche. Well, he's a bellend. I remember that one time he actually announced that this has been Activision Blizzard's best year for profits in the club's history, the company's history. And do you know what they did after? They laid off something like 800 employees.
Yeah.
Well, everyone, well done, your great work. You're all fired. And then he gives himself a bonus of like $20 million.
At the end of the day, I know
that's just pure American capitalism, and it's disgusting.
I know people make the argument that it's awful. A business at the end of the day, and sure, obviously it is. But at the same time, they seem to be leaning towards thinking that they're more of like a business rather than a games company. And they have to realize that the consumers are what make you and come first, sort of thing. And they're literally just tailoring everything towards money. It affects everything.
No company is ever on your side.
No. They can have all the funny tweets you want online and say stuff like memes and that, but they're not on your side.
I don't think Activision care about that. Do they do funny tweets? Like
no,
the Xbox
not even
one
them.
does funny ones and sarcastic ones, but I think Activision is just it just talks about stock markets and money.
You wouldn't even think they're a game studio.
Fuck them. I hate them. I hate. Get rid of that CEO. He's a prick as well. His ugly face.
Well, there's even a thing about him taking 50% of a pay cut this year.
Oh,
but 50% of his salary, which is what was it again? It was something ridiculous anyway. But he still gets his bonus of $200 million, wasn't it?
Well, that's it's the bonus that matters to him. At the
exactly.
End of the day. That gives him more money than what he's. It's just the usual. Everyone else does the work for him. All he has to do is attend meetings and talk shite, and he ges paid.
It's a shame because there's a lot of talented studios that are now just resorted to being.
That's why a lot of them leave. That's why Respawn, when Vince, can't remember his second name, guy created Respawn.
I'm thinking of Vincent D'Onofrio, but that's Kingpin from Daredevil.
He created. He's the guy basically responsible for Modern Warfare, Call of Duty ever taken off. He's the one that came up with it. He was the head of the studio of Infinity Ward.
Yeah.
Basically, he left, made Respawn, and took basically all the best developers from Infinity Ward. That's why Infinity Ward went through they're making shite for a long time until Modern Warfare. And he made Respawn and he made Titanfall and they were fucking great. And he said he'd never sell it to corporate, but then he got bought over by EA in the end anyway.
One of the worst ones. Speaking of EA.
Well, EA are making Mass Effect remastered. Finally.
Oh, yes.
So they get one bonus point.
I'm about to shift your opinion. Let's talk about EA and FIFA Ultimate Team and that whole debacle. Obviously, there was stuff a while ago about an
Is
internal
this-
employee,
Is this
selling.
is this the thing where they're basically forcing everyone
It's pretty much their
towards-
statement.
towards loot boxes or something?
Yes. I'll read a few quotes because there's quite a lot of stuff they've written down, and it's all just that usual shite, That just corporate, like, we love our players. We don't do anything to gravitate them towards money or anything like that. It's like,
You can play Ultimate Team and still compete.
Well, the
without
first
spending money.
sentence from this is, we make games to be fun and enjoyable for large global audiences. Sure you do. Yeah, okay.
All the normie FIFA fans would think that.
I know. But, we seek every day to provide players with content choices that fuel their excitement and connection to the sport and their friends. Which is why we're disappointed in a recent media report about Foot, FIFA Ultimate Team, which ignored important information and context. The result being a sensationalized story with a misrepresentation of the facts. Now, I think the story of that was
so corporate, that thing.
Yeah.
I hate corporate speeches.
But like, this is in relation
Spies.
to there was a leak about how EA are apparently pushing players towards actively spending money.
How is this
in
a
FIFA.
leak? They've been doing it openly for years.
But for some reason, people just are oblivious to it, or they don't realize that it's true.
This is why I have not spent full money on a FIFA game since FIFA 15, 16. The only time I've ever played it since is when it's on EA Pass, or like it'll be on Game Pass soon. But even then, I probably won't play it. I don't play it because it's just a pile of crap. It's just like money. It's the same game over and over again, and all they care about is Ultimate Team. I don't like Ultimate Team. Ultimate Team is just something I don't like. I'd rather they like made a career mode. Which
the
was
concept of Ultimate Team, yeah, you can like to begin with. When you thought of that, you're like, okay, that's quite a good idea.
This was back in FIFA 10,
but it
was first
turns
introduced.
instantly into a money thing, monetization.
This whole thing. Oh, you can still compete and buy brilliant players. No, you can't. You can't buy good players without spending money. It's a pay-to-win scheme.
Right,
that's what it is. It's loot boxes. It's gambling.
Well, since we're going to be talking about gambling, let's see what they have to say, right? They said, this was after that quote I read, and they said the facts are, and then they got bullet points on some of them, right? And since you were talking about gambling, one of them is, we don't encourage young players to spend in our games, and we strongly recommend use of family controls to manage the content that children are allowed to access.
See, this is bullshit.
Their ability to spend in games and how much time they can play. Our EA platform for PC games also includes dedicated child and teen accounts, so that all our players and their parents can make informed choices about how they play. And then there was another thing about monetization. I know you want to just go off on one. We also firmly disagree that FIFA or any of our games involve gambling. Regulators in multiple countries around the world have stated publicly that there is no cash-out method. Loot boxes do not constitute gambling. We take great care to ensure that our games are played as designed, including by taking action against those who violate our rules against trading outside the game.
Right, okay, let's just stop right here. Who are these regulators they're talking about? All I'm hearing about how it is gambling. And this is why governments are talking about it. Who are these regulators? Are these regulators that they pay for? This is like someone marking your own homework. Guys,
so
it's my homework. Right. And then you mark it yourself and you start changing answers. That's literally what EA are doing. What regulators are they talking about? What a load of shite. Also, when you go on FIFA, the first thing that pops up is Ultimate Team, and it shows you like Messi's face or Ronaldo's face or
it says
Mbappe.
Team of the Season and stuff.
Yeah, you go. That's literally the first thing. I remember when we played it, and I downloaded it when it came on EA Pass. What FIFA was that? Was that FIFA 20 or something?
Can't remember, but the first thing you were prompted with was pretty much Ultimate Team.
I went on it, and as soon as you go on, it just tells you Ultimate Team. Well, what's an Ultimate Team? Loot boxes.
I like how they're just trying to
fucking load it. They're so corporate. If anyone goes like that, goes, well, EA, right? Then you're a sheep, and that's all you are.
I like how they're trying to almost like brush under the rug, but like at the same time, you are
rage.
You are actively making players, like, I know that, like, in quotes, you're not saying, oh, you have to buy this right now, but at the same time, your game is catered towards microtransactions.
It's designed that way in Ultimate Team.
When you're making,
point you towards
when your revenue from Ultimate Team itself is in the billions for like the past few years, and you're trying to tell me that you're not catering that game mode towards people buying to make more money for you, that's a fucking lie.
Even Call of Duty doesn't do loot boxes anymore, and they're still doing it. Why does Apex still have bloody loot boxes? Oh. Nah, we need to move on from this. This is just really pissing me off. They're just a bunch of liars. Yeah, I hate corporate speeches. It's just
And
they're
that's-
lying. Anytime a
Aye, but
corporate,
that's all it is.
anytime a company comes out and says they're on your side, they're not. Just
No.
remember that they're
They're not.
never on your side. Well, I'm done now.
You know what? I'll quickly run off some PlayStation facts. All right, this is from Jeff Keighley. Oh my god, how do you say his name?
Is it Keely?
Keighley.
Keely.
I got
Keighley.
pronounced the I. That's why I said Keighley.
Kylie.
Kylie, we know.
Oh, Mr. Kylie. I'm a big fan of yours.
These are some PlayStation facts in the company earnings. They sold 7.8 million PlayStation 5s, 47.6 PlayStation Plus subscribers, 338 million games sold for PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 in the past year, 24.4 billion in gaming revenue in the past year, and then in brackets, the global box office was 11.5 billion in 2020. Many theaters closed.
24 billion in revenue from
In
games.
gaming revenue in the past year.
What are Sony worth? Like 100 billion. That's insane.
In the past year.
Yeah, that's crazy. But that's because they had a really good year for games in
Right.
general.
You know what? I want to go off on one here because see that 24.4 billion, right, in gaming revenue. And that's just for Sony, right? This might be a slight off topic, right? But see when people still bash games and act as if they aren't a proper form of media or entertainment and that whole industry
Who
is
says
nothing.
that?
You still get that though
Like,
sometimes.
you get it from people in the UK and all that because everyone here's a arrogant prick.
Aye, but like how could the video game industry has been growing for like the past fucking 20 years and
It makes more money than
it's now like
movies
the
and
leading
music.
aye, it's the leading industry. It makes more money than all of them combined, pretty much.
Yeah, that's why Amazon and Google are really wanting to get into it now.
Exactly. It tells you that tells you a lot when Google
And they
itself
have
is wanting to get involved in
failed
it.
so far. Really hard to break the big three.
What, like the Google Stadia? Let's talk about that.
Basically, what Xbox Series X, what's it called xCloud. It's literally what Stadia is. It's part of the service in Xbox. So
Yeah.
why would you get a Stadia? And plus, you got Microsoft that are funding it, and they have one of the best cloud services in the world. So
Yeah.
that's the reason why that console failed.
Yep. Right. Let's go to you for more.
I
good
have
news.
some Halo news.
Of course you
The
do.
monthly roundup of Halo.
Whoop.
They've released new screenshots. I'll probably put that on the screen.
Yeah.
And oh my, it's starting to look very pretty now. What a
Yep.
difference!
8 months, is it not?
Yeah, 8 months.
From
What
when they
a-
initially showed it.
yeah, what a difference that this game needed this delay.
Oh, I've seen them. It
Yeah.
looks. You can't deny. It looks amazing.
So, but these were shared from PC, and so they announced basically this game has been built up on PC, so it's not just going to be a port.
Mhm.
So you're going to get all the fancy PC, FOV sliders. It said triple keyboards. I don't even know what that means.
I don't know, but
What's
I know
triple
what you
keyboard
mean.
mean?
The field of view sliders is something that even Call of Duty Warzone don't do. For some reason, they've refused to.
But they
give
still
it
get
to those.
the extra widescreen though, which is an advantage on PC. So if you're on console and you see like someone's there on console, you wouldn't see it.
On
On PC, you
you
can't
do.
see him there.
Yeah.
That's where there's a unbalance.
A divide.
But crossplay will be on Halo at launch
Yeah, boy.
between Xbox, next gen Xbox, and PC.
Yep.
I don't know how that's going to work. I don't know if it's going to be like mandatory or
Yeah.
you decide, because at the end of the day, PC players will always
Have an
win.
advantage.
Yeah, they always have the advantage because mouse is just more precision.
It's far superior to the controller. As
Yeah.
much as like the controllers have become more advanced in these days, it's always
It's no,
gonna be
yeah, it's nowhere near. It's just
No.
it's harder to aim on a controller than it is PC.
plus you get drift.
Rainbow Six is the perfect example of that.
Yep.
That game is so much easier in PC.
Precision.
Yeah, cross progression is also included. So
Good.
I pay for Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, so if I can probably just download them both and then still share the same profile essentially,
Yeah.
which is awesome. And yeah, the game's been it's been made from the ground up on the PC, which is good news for PC gamers.
Very, yes.
The master race after all. So it's not just a simple port. Basically, all the info is on Halo Waypoint, and it's just the screenshots. It looks so fucking good.
It really
I
does.
can't wait for this game. It is going to take over my life like Halo 5 did. That's still the game I played most in the last 6 years.
To be fair, that consumed us both for quite a while.
I have 21 days altogether in Halo 5. That's a lot for me.
That's a
One
lot.
game. I think I don't know what you were. I got to the level 132. I think
Well,
150 is the highest bit.
The last time I reached that kind of playtime in a
152.
game that I can remember was Modern Warfare 2 at my peak. And I think I reached about 30 days on that.
Oof, that's a lot. That is a lot.
But that's because I would come home, play that all day, go to sleep, go to school. That's all it was. Rinse, repeat.
Halo 5 was literally like any day off I had when I was in college at the time. I remember one time, sometimes I wouldn't go in because I was just like, I'm going to play Halo 5 all day. Just played it all day. And that game would make me actually proper rage. I think that's probably the last time where I really had a meltdown, like a game of rage. Your controller gets smashed.
Then you regret it straight after.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like, oh my god, £60 for
I know.
one.
As soon as you do, you're like, I'm sorry. Why did I do this? Every time. But yeah, can't wait for that. It's definitely come out. It's definitely come out in November. It's 20 year anniversary of Halo 1.
It lines up perfectly.
Yeah, it does. It's like it has to be a November release date, but it's still a while yet. But can't wait for that to come out.
Yep.
That's all from I got.
Right, well, that is all from us this week in terms of the news in the industries. We will be back next week, of course. Hopefully we get some more hopefully get some movie news in general and something substantial.
There's COVID and all that. There's not really much movie stuff.
Yeah, it's probably still the industry that's impacted the most. You know, they can't really do much.
They've lost a lot of money.
Yeah, I mean, I know a lot of people have sort of thing, but at the same time, movie industry, yeah, you can tell it's suffering still. But yeah, that'll be all for this week. Links to all of our socials will be in the description as always. Remember to like and subscribe, share with your friends, family, or whoever. Support the channel. And yes, we will be back next week for more news. Goodbye.
See you guys next time.
Why have you done that?
I just had to.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.